What's up, everybody? Novels Gaming here, back after a long hiatus. A lot of things have happened in life, and sometimes you just have to take a break, even when you didn't really do a whole lot to begin with. So, um, moving forward, I am going to do something that I didn't really think I'd ever do. Never really haven't, or excuse me, haven't really ever done this before in the past, uh, like for fun. Um, but I'm going to do a franchise, completely simulated. I'm not going to play any of the games. The whole idea is I'm going to basically take over as an owner and be owner slash GM for a franchise and try to take them to the top. As far as who I'm going to pick, I'm not going to pick any of the good teams or whatever. I'm going to basically try to build a team from the ground up. Because I don't think it'd be as fun to do, take over somebody like the Patriots or the Chiefs or whatever. And I also understand that there may not be any interest in this if you don't like sports. I get that. I really like sports, and with the current health pandemic going on, we don't really have any kind of sports going on. So I need to entertain myself, and I thought, why not entertain others in the process? So we're going to start it up franchise. I'm going to kind of go over some ground rules for this first episode, keep it kind of short, and then going forward, we will get into the nitty gritty of everything. For this first episode, I'm just going to basically cover the ground rules and how I'm going to decide what team I pick. Let's see here. For the record, I'm a Titans fan. Primarily a Titans fan, as you can see in the top right corner. Though I also pull for the Miami Dolphins, and I will discuss that a little bit more here in a minute. But to start it off, we're going to use the preseason roster. We're going to basically start from scratch as if the 2019 season has not happened yet. I feel like that's the best route to go. I don't want to take a roster that's already made like trades and had things happen and such like that. I'm just going to start as if the 2019 season has not happened yet.
Select the team you want to join.
Thank you, sir. So, the parameters for selecting a franchise, this is kind of what I came up with. So everything's going to be considered before the 2019 season started. So if they made the conference championship in the past 10 seasons, the team cannot be chosen. So that eliminates, for instance, like Carolina. I can't pick Carolina, even though they've been a dud, and I could probably take them and try to build them back up. They made the Super Bowl a few years ago. They don't count. So any team that has made the Super Bowl, or excuse me, has made the conference championship, win or lose, I cannot pick in the past 10 seasons. I can't have more than, the team itself cannot have more than one playoff appearance in the past 7 seasons, and the playoff appearance cannot have been in the previous 2 seasons. So based on these results, these are the teams that I can choose from. Chicago's out. The Bengals are out. The Bills are out. Broncos are out. Cleveland is eligible. Cleveland is definitely interesting. They have a lot of talent there. They would probably be the easiest one of the teams that are eligible. But they're definitely a team that has been plagued with sorrows, to say the least. So they're eligible. Buccaneers are eligible. They are not quite as talented as Cleveland, but they do have some solid guys. Mike Evans, Shaquille Barrett, who ended up showing out this past season in real life. Jameis Winston he's okay at quarterback. He can win you games. He can lose you games. Chris Godwin ends up being pretty good as well, but they are an option. Arizona is out. The Chargers are out. The Chiefs are out. The Colts are out. The Cowboys are out. Miami's in the pickings. Like I said, I am a Miami fan. It's like a secondary team. I pull for the Titans primarily, so if the Titans play the Dolphins, I usually pull for the Titans. But I do pull for the Dolphins, and I know there's some people like, how do you cheer for 2 teams, especially in the same conference? And those people, I say, because I can. And that's all you need to know. But yeah, Miami is the thing that appeals to me about Miami, besides them being a fan or a team that I cheer for rather. They got a lot of draft capital, and obviously, since I'm starting before the 2019 season has been completed with the preseason rosters, they don't have as much draft capital as they actually do in real life, but they still got a lot of draft capital to work with, and that's very appealing to me. But going forward, the Eagles are not in the running. Falcons are out. 49ers are out. Giants are out. Jaguars are out. Jets are out. The Lions are out. The Lions are out because they had 2 playoff appearances in the past 7 seasons. So that's why. Packers are out. Panthers are out. Patriots are out. Raiders. I like me some Raiders in terms of talent. Also, I'm a huge John Gruden fanboy. I think he hung the moon and taught it how to do the West Coast offense. But I definitely like the Raiders. Of course, they end up starting off with Antonio Brown. As we all know, he hit his head hard at some point in his life and made some bad decisions, but he's on the roster as of the preseason. And then we've got... Oh, I lied. Let's back it up. The Giants are eligible. They are eligible. Saquon Barkley, definitely interesting. And Daniel Jones, who I really like. Really think he did really well in this past season. Golden Tate at wide receiver. They got some pretty decent weapons, but they are not good, as they say. So the ones that made it based off the parameters I set would be, again, to be the Browns, the Buccaneers, the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Raiders. After choosing that list, there was a couple of teams I went back and was like, you know what, I'm going to consider them anyway, even though they technically are eliminated. And it ends up being... If I can find them. This is really awkward trying to do this live. The Lions. I considered the Lions anyway, just because Detroit is a trash franchise in terms of NFL. Let's not lie. Yeah, they've had 2 playoff appearances, but the last one was in 2016 as a wild card, and they lost. I really like the Lions. I think they got some decent talent and some decent draft capital. So I am considering them as the team that I take over and take to the promised land. Another team, the only other team that I gave the exception to was Washington. Washington, same thing. They've had 2 playoff appearances, and the last one was in 2015 as a wild card. So I think even though they didn't fit in those original parameters, I'm at least going to consider them because they have been very bad as well for a long while. They had the RG3 situation. They thought he was the guy. He got injured, didn't pan out. Kirk Cousins left angrily because they didn't want to pay money. He's probably the best quarterback they've had since before I was born. Probably Joe Theismann. They've probably had somebody else decent since then, but if they did, I would remember. I don't remember. Jason Campbell's okay, but anyways, I like to ramble. That will happen a lot, so bear with me. But the Redskins, they definitely got some young talent, especially that defense. That defense is nasty. And then Trent Williams at left tackle. I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot better than that. You pretty much got, you're set there. So the Redskins, I'm definitely considering them. So all these other teams, not eligible. I mean, Cincinnati would have been interesting, but I'm not going to pick Cincinnati as even a exception to the rule. Not picking Cleveland, and the reason I'm not going to pick Cleveland is they've got a little more talent than I would like. I really want to kind of start like at the bottom, and them having Odell and Myles Garrett and Jarvis Landry, Denzel Ward, Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, guys like that. That just, to me, there's a lot of talent there, and I wouldn't be able to do quite what I'm picturing in my mind of what I want to do, and that's build a team from the ground up. They've already been kind of built up. It's just basically getting them over that hump, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to pick Cleveland. Tampa Bay, really thought about them. I really like the idea of taking them and seeing what I could do and trying to build a team around Jameis, or maybe kind of do what happened in real life and try to get Brady in the off season, but decided not to do that. Just because, kind of similar to Cleveland, they've got some pretty decent talent, and I kind of want to start a little lower on the scale. They are an 80 overall team, Cleveland being 83, so I'm not going to pick Tampa Bay, but I did think long and hard about them. And then moving forward, Miami, I'm keeping them in it. They're in my top 3. Just because they are basically the bottom of the barrel. It doesn't really get much worse than Miami. They're probably the lowest overall team as far as preseason rosters go, 75. And I love the amount of draft capital they got. That's absolutely probably the top thing I'm looking for besides being a crappy team. The Giants, I think they're already in the process of doing what I kind of want to do with the team. They've already drafted a franchise quarterback. They've already got a all-pro running back in Saquon Barkley. I don't know if he's actually all-pro, but he's going to be all-pro. Don't argue with me. And they're already they're in progress of that process that I want to do. So I'm not going to pick the Giants. Plus, they didn't make the original parameters. So, oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They was the team that did make it, and I just forgot about them. Well, I'm not going to pick the Giants. So, moving forward, the Lions, I'm going to let them make the cut just because they are such a bad franchise. I know that seems kind of contradictory because Cleveland's such a bad franchise, but Cleveland's got so much more talent than the Detroit Lions do. To me, anyway. And the idea of taking Detroit from this absolute joke of a team, especially in such a tough division like Green Bay and Chicago, Minnesota, I think that would be really cool. So far I've got the Dolphins and the Lions are in my top 3. So I've got two of the 3 already picked. The Raiders, who's going to make that final spot? Either the Raiders or the Redskins. I'm contemplating here. Oakland's kind of already in that process as well, what I'm looking to do. And they've got some decent talent. They got Josh Jacobs at running back. He's a young guy. Antonio Brown would be at wide receiver. Defense isn't the worst. I mean, it's not the greatest. Washington's pretty balanced. They've got some young cats on there that are going to tear it up in a couple years. Maybe a little too much talent. So I'm going to leave Oakland in the running, top 3. So the top 3, again, is going to be Miami, Oakland, and Detroit. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut Oakland off. It's going to be between Detroit and Miami. Yeah, I'm literally making this decision in the moment. The fan in me really wants to take Miami, but I'm trying to not let my fandom choose. I'm going to take Miami. No, I'm not. Just kidding. I'm taking Detroit.
Start your season with recommended settings. If you wish to change roles or adjust options, use the tiles on the left.
I lied. I want Miami. I want Miami just because of that draft capital, and they are they are the very bottom. I got to take Miami. I know a lot about that team, and I've also, in real life, proposed so many things that they should do that they're not doing. So I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to take Miami and do what needs to be done. That is what I'm going to do. It has been decided. Once again, we're going to start the preseason. No fantasy draft. We're just going to take preseason rosters. I want to be the owner. I'm going to be a lifelong fan because, AKA, that's what I really am. And what's a cool name Frickin' Earl Ledbetter. I'm sorry, I'm OCD, so I can't have all caps. Ledbetter. That is the most southern armchair GM name in the history of armchair GM names. Earl Ledbetter. Yeah, boy. Alright, league settings. Like I said, I'm gonna simulate every game. I'm not gonna play any games. I'm not even going to watch the games be simulated. Straight up simulate the games. League type. I don't think that affects me because it's just me. That also doesn't affect me because I'm not a player. Trade type. I'm gonna let everybody trade. Coach firing. Turn on to allow all coaches to be fired for poor. Yes. On. I think everybody should be at the mercy of the hammer. Salary cap on. Superstar abilities on. Relocation settings. We'll leave that normal. Injury on. Pre-existing. Yeah, we'll keep it. Sure. I'm gonna change that to every 4 weeks. Just because I can. Full on-field control. That don't affect me. We'll keep it. Keep it. I'm simulating, but apparently minutes make a difference in how the stats come out, and I've kind of read on it. I think like 9 to 12 was the sweet spot, so we'll just go with 10. Season experience, full control. So I don't want to be able to do weekly training. I think that should come down to like coaching, so to speak. So I'm going to let weekly training just be automatic. I want to control trades and free agency. I want to be able to bid on free agents. Injury management. Would Jerry Jones tell Mike McCarthy what to do if Amari Cooper was out? Jerry Jones probably would. Would most owners tell their coach what to do if somebody was out? No, I don't think they would. I'm technically an owner, but I'm looking at this more of like a general manager. But I still don't think the general manager would. They'd probably make suggestions, but they wouldn't make the final. They wouldn't have the final say. So I'm gonna leave injuries as off. Preseason cuts. I'm gonna leave that as my decision. Contract negotiations. That's me. Scout college players. Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to have say in that. League advancement. Oh, that's just. Okay, yeah, that's just like simulating and making sure the next week goes on. I don't need tutorials. I know what I'm doing. Fill roster. Do not fill my roster. I choose who's on this team. If I want 20 dudes and they're all kickers, I will freaking do it myself. Auto-progress players. Yeah, let them auto-progress. I don't want to have to do it because that's annoying. Alright, so there's my settings. I don't think there's an option to change sliders. Obviously not. It's not here. Then it's just going to be default sliders at all Madden. I'm not playing, so it doesn't really matter anyway. And this went a little bit longer than I intended it to, so I might cut out some of the dead air. So it may be like 19 minutes for y'all. It may be like 15-ish. I don't know. I rambled a lot. But yeah, so this is going to be the series. I'm going to be the Miami Dolphins owner. I'm going to oversee the incline, the climb to the top of the mountain for Miami, the Dolphins. We're starting in preseason week 1, the 2019 season. This has been episode 1. It's been like a prequel. If you're into prequels, this is prequel. This is going to be more than 19 minutes already. But this is the prequel, and we will get into the true episode 1, I guess, of the series on the flip side. And I'm really awkward, don't know how to end a video, so thanks for watching. Sayonara, amigos.